Previously, we learned how to import assets into our Unity projects. In this video, we're going to learn how to position item or our Unity game object in a 3D environment called scene. Before we get into it, let's learn how to create a new project. I'm going to hit on this button and then I'm going to give it a name. So I'll simply call it first game, and more importantly, I'm going to ensure it's in a location that I most prefer. So I will take it to documents, and in documents I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder games. So now that I know where the game I'm creating, now that I know where the location is on my PC, I can simply hit on create project. So this will take a minute or two before it loads into the Unity environment. So after creating our project, let's import our asset. I'll simply go to custom package and then locate where we have the Unity package. I'll simply hit import. Okay, so we have successfully imported. So these are the number of folders that it came with. Okay, so prior we run through these folders. So what I'm going to do now is to go back to assets and now open the scene. So I'm going to double click on prototype 1. Okay, so this is the default setting of how the environment is configured beforehand. Okay, so now we are going to reposition this environment using our camera. So before then, I'm going to choose this tall workspace, and then the next thing I'm going to do is to reposition the game below the scene. So how I'm going to do that is simple. So simply click on the game and then we're going to drag it and then release. Okay, so now the game is directly below the scene view. So the next thing we're going to do is to play around the environment. Okay, so if you hold on Alt and you left click the mouse, you can see us moving around the environment freely. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to import our vehicle into our scene. So all I need to do is to drag it and then I'm going to drop it. So far so good, we are making progress. So this time around I'm going to select the main camera so you can see preview of how the game view is. So you can see the game view right here, but it's a way we want to position the environment, okay, so that the player will be more or less be in form of a third person. This is how we want to position it in the game view. Okay, so something like this. Drag this to the center. Match. Okay. So with the scroll wheel, we can actually pan around. So we can do something like this with it. And then selecting any game object and hitting on F on the keyboard is going to focus on that particular game object. And also, having selected this vehicle, you can actually hold on Alt and then you can check the vehicle closely. So that's the interesting thing about the shortcut key or the hotkey. Alt and then left clicking. One more thing that is very important is actually this gizmo that we have here. So you can click on this Y and that will take you to the top view. So this is our top view. Okay, and with the camera selected, I'm going to move it, or simply click on this option at the center. Okay, so this is giving us more or less a 2D look. So I'm going to drag this like so, and then I will drag it back a notch. Okay, so currently we can see in the game view, it may not necessarily make sense, but it's going to make sense at some point. So let's go back. Okay, you can see this is more or less the back. let's hit the top view one more time and let's select this. This is still the back. Okay, so I'm going to select this one more time. So this is the front. Okay, you can either do it from the back or the front is still okay. So I'm going to drag it up like so. Let's go to the top view once again. So this time around I'm going to use this tool, the rotate tool, and then I'm going to rotate the vehicle like so. Okay, and then on the z-axis, which is blue in color, I'm going to ensure it's exactly how we want it, and then on the y-axis, which is green, I'll still rotate it further. And then let's select the move tool, then we'll move back a notch. Okay, so even though this is not really from a third person perspective, because we can actually see the vehicle, this is how we actually wanted the perspective that we want our player to play the game from. Okay, so this is good. All right, so I'm going to drag this a notch, and then we're going to drag it up a bit. Okay, so this is somewhat good. Let's go to the top view one more time. So this time around I'm going to drag in the obstacle. So let's go right in and drag the obstacle. So I'm going to use this, position it around here. I'm going to duplicate each of these barriers. So how we do that is holding down Ctrl D, and then you have duplicated your barrier. I'll press Ctrl D one more time. Okay, so we're going to do this repeatedly until we reach the end of the road, and ensure you give a good amount of space, because your vehicle is supposed to navigate or maneuver its way around the obstacle. So this is good spacing. So let me select this. It seems I'll have to zoom in closely because I'm having difficulty with the selection. So I'm going to select this and press Ctrl D, and then move it backward. Press Ctrl D again, move it backward. So like I said, until we get to the end of the road, that's when we are going to stop. So you can see that we are almost there. So lastly, I'm going to press Ctrl D. So now that we are done, I'm going to group all the game objects that I just duplicated. So you can see one at the very top. So it will be good if we have our work well organized. So how we're going to do that is to create an empty. So basically our empty is going to act like a folder. So how do we create an empty? Simply right click on the hierarchy and then click on create empty. So you can see the name is actually game object, but then we're going to rename it to obstacles. Okay, so simply highlight all the obstacles and then drag them into this. Okay, so you can see that we have grouped our obstacle, all of them. So this is good. Now this is basically how you can actually place things around in your 3D environment, so you can see how easy it is. But at first it might look a bit daunting. Okay, so now let's go back. So you can simply click on the center here. So now this is more or less back to the 3D look and feel. So you can see we have successfully placed all these items in our scene. So you can see how it's looking in the game view. So you can try it out by hitting the play button, even though you're going to have the same look. So that is it on this video. So I'll see you guys in the next video.